Alexander Esak to PSG transfer theory rubbished as Newcastle take hard Liverpool stance. Latest Liverpool transfer news as answers arrive following fears of PSG hijacking a deal for Alexander Esak. Liverpool are not the only club that have been linked with Alexander Esak. Liverpool will head into the Community Shield on Sunday, with one eye still on the continuing Alexander Esak transfer saga. But a fresh claim of another club swooping in to scupper a possible deal has already been debunked. The Reds will not follow up on their previous rejected £110 million offer unless Newcastle United relax their stance against selling the 25-year-old. The decision has resulted in a waiting game, with Isak yet to be reintegrated into Eddie Howe's squad. Last month, the Independent hinted European champions Paris Saint-Germain could be one to watch in the transfer tussle, speculating that the Swede has more than one potential suitor. On Friday afternoon, Sky Sports reporter Keith Downey picked up on Magpies fans using social media platform X to speculate the reason a private jet had taken off from Paris at 2:30 p.m. and landed on Tyneside at 3 p.m. The overriding theory among supporters was that a PSG contingent had flown in to conduct private business. Calling this the workings of silly season, Downey explained, that plane from Paris is not a delegation from PSG trying to sign Alexander Esak. It's the plane taking the Sunderland team to play Augsburg tomorrow. The jet departed from Newcastle yesterday evening for Memmingen, an hour's drive away from Augsburg, where Newcastle's rivals have played this Saturday afternoon. Despite the Newcastle fans' PSG theory being dismissed, a fresh report suggests that the Northeast club have put their foot down regarding their striker. According to The Telegraph, they will not do business with anyone and will block Isak leaving this summer at any price. The striker has been ordered to train alone following his expression of desire to leave, and reportedly cannot get his head around the fact that Newcastle will not give in and allow him to move on. The report comes despite comments from Toon boss Eddie Howe on Friday night, after Isak did not feature in Newcastle's 2-2 friendly draw with Espanyol. Asked if the club could force Isak to stay, the manager replied, "It's not that straightforward, otherwise we would have done that a long time ago. I don't think we're in a position to be able to do that currently." Liverpool handed free run at Mark Guhai as Reds in pole position after major transfer decision. Latest Liverpool transfer rumors, as reports suggest the Reds are in pole position to sign Mark Guhai. Liverpool are reportedly in pole position for transfer target Mark Guhai. Liverpool reportedly have a clear run at Crystal Palace star Mark Guhai as Chelsea eye different targets despite a serious knee injury for leaving is out of contract at Selhurst Park next summer, with Oliver Glasner's side running out of opportunities to recoup fee for his services. Guhai will be available as a free agent at the end of next season, and reports suggested the Londoners may enter the market to sign their former academy prospect, following news of Colwell's surgery after suffering an anterior cruciate ligament injury. According to The Telegraph, Liverpool are in pole position to sign the 25-year-old, with Chelsea targeting other options in the market. Arne Slot will get a closer look at their transfer target on Sunday when the Reds take on the FA Cup winners in the Community Shield at Wembley. While the saga surrounding Alexander Esak, Liverpool have a growing need to reinforce their central defensive options, with Joe Gomez and Ibrahima Konate the only senior deputies to captain Virgil van Dijk. Gerald Kwanzaa completed a move to Bayer Leverkusen earlier in the window, leaving the possibility of Wataru Endo and Ryan Gravenberch filtering into the position, should they be required to. Slot faced questions on his defensive department during the pre-match press conference ahead of the trip to Wembley Stadium. He said, "They, Endo, Robertson, and Gravenberch, can definitely play there as well. And you forgot to mention Joe Gomez. Unfortunately, he has a minor injury at the moment, but he will be back with the team very soon. So we still have numerous options that can play there. But as always, what I always say, it's the same boring answer as with players that we might bring in or not. I'm really happy with the players we already have, and we have numerous players that can play in that position." In June, the Echo reported interest from the Premier League champions in the England international as they mulled over targeting the defender. However, it was noted that Liverpool would not rush into a deal for Guhai and would be happy to bide their time over the centre-back. Liverpool, Isak's agreement, revealed as Romano confirms new update on Newcastle contract snub. Alexander Esak celebrates a goal during a match. According to reports, Alexander Esak had an agreement with Newcastle United, who have had a new offer rejected by the Liverpool target. The Isak saga continues to drag on, and a conclusion still seems far away after he made it clear to Newcastle that he wants to leave the club this summer. During the 2024-25 campaign, Isak cemented himself as one of the world's best strikers as he scored 27 goals in 42 appearances in all competitions for Newcastle. Isak helped Newcastle win the Carabao Cup and qualify for the Champions League, though he feels he is ready for the next step in his career as he eyes a move to Liverpool. The Reds have already paid around £80 million to sign Hugo Ekitike as part of their £260 million summer spend, though they remain interested in Isak as their dream target. Liverpool have already had a bid of around £120 million for Isak rejected by Newcastle, who reportedly value their prized asset at around £150 million. It has been suggested that the Reds are ready to return with a new offer once the Magpies land a replacement. On Friday evening, transfer expert Fabrizio Romano revealed a new update on Isak's situation, confirming that he has rejected Newcastle's attempts to tie him to a new contract beyond 2028. Isak, I'm told new thing to say tonight, that he said in a very clear way to Newcastle again this week that he is not willing to sign a new contract at the club, Romano said on his YouTube channel. So, Newcastle tried again earlier this week to offer him a new contract, but the player at the moment, guys, we never know in football. Maybe this could change in the next days or weeks, and I will be here to tell you because our job is to tell you what's going on, not to predict the future. But in this moment, Alexander Esak has no intention to sign a new contract at Newcastle. Alexander Esak wants to go to Liverpool, and so this story remains absolutely on. It's not over. Follow that one because the story again is really on. Before the summer, the Newcastle News was renowned for being a parody account on X, but they have recently emerged as a semi-credible outlet, as they have amassed 580k followers, a team of 5 respected reporters, and were recently credited by The Athletic's David Ornstein after beating him to a story. With that, Newcastle claimed on Friday evening that Isak's team has informed them that he reached a gentleman's agreement with Newcastle in January. They said on X, "Wow, close associate of Alexander Esak's contacted us. We seen your story that Adam Wharton has gentleman agreement with at CPFC to leave it next summer. Alexander Esak had the same agreement in January with at UFC to leave this summer. We are furious how we've been treated." Newcastle confirmed Alexander Esak decision amid Liverpool transfer saga. Latest Liverpool transfer news as Newcastle United make a major call regarding striker Alexander Esak. Alexander Esak is not playing for Newcastle on Friday night, amid links with a move to Liverpool. Newcastle United have confirmed Alexander Esak is not playing in their latest preseason friendly on Friday night. The striker is yet to feature this summer, amid an ongoing transfer saga of which Liverpool are at the center. The Reds were rejected 1 week ago when they presented a £110 million offer to their rivals, and as things stand, they have not lined up a renewed effort. This only came after the 25-year-old had expressed desire to leave Newcastle and had not traveled with Eddie Howe's squad for a tour of Asia, which was put down to a thigh injury. After the Magpies returned to England, it has been confirmed Isak has been made to train separately to his teammates, and now he has not been named in the squad that faces Spanish side Espanyol in front of supporters at St. James's Park. Howe has named a mixed starting English that includes captain Bruno Guimaraes, England defender Dan Burn, and debutant goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale among some youngsters. Up front is 22-year-old William Osula, another Swedish striker, but there is no place for Isak even on the bench. Liverpool's rivals still have another friendly tomorrow against Atletico Madrid, again at St. James's Park. It had been clarified that Howe would not be holding a press conference before either that or tonight's match, but will be taking questions after each. So there are answers inevitably to come about Isak. Prior to Isak being made to train alone, his manager had warned, "You have to earn the right to train with us. We are Newcastle United. The player has a responsibility here to be part of a team and part of a squad. You have to act in the right way." So that is also at play here. We will make sure that any player does that to earn the right to train with the group. No player can expect to act poorly and train with the group as normal. At the moment, Newcastle are in no position to sell even if they wanted to, the Echo's sister site Chronicle Live explained earlier, because St. James's Park Chiefs have still not secured all of the attacking signings they desire this summer. To factor into the situation is their wish not to see Isak line up for the Reds when the two teams meet in the Premier League on Monday, August 25th. Arne Slot refused to elaborate on Isak's situation when asked at his pre-Community Shield press conference, simply replying, "As you know, from me and I think every manager works like this, you never talk about players that are not yours." Alejandro Garnacho transfer latest as agreement reached. But Man Utd lay down demand. Manchester United are set to sell Alejandro Garnacho this summer, but want their £50 million price tag reduced from £80 million in January, but Chelsea are looking to deal at a lower value for the Argentina international. Alejandro Garnacho wants Chelsea, and Chelsea want Alejandro Garnacho. Alejandro Garnacho wants Chelsea, and Chelsea want Alejandro Garnacho. But whether he's the next member of Manchester United's bomb squad to depart remains in question. Of the 5 players Ruben Amorim pushed away from United's first team this summer, was they expressed a desire to leave. Only Barcelona loanee Marcus Rashford is gone. Garnacho, Antony, Tyrell Malaysia, and Jadon Sancho, ironically back in Manchester after Chelsea decided to pay a fine to cancel their summer transfer obligation, all remain in situ. Argentina international Garnacho looks the man most likely to be next through the exit door, however. A regular under Ruben Amorim since his arrival, his talent isn't in question, but the Portuguese has had enough of his attitude and the drama that comes with the 21-year-old. I think with Garnacho, you can understand, and you can see that he's talented. He's a really talented boy, Amorim said earlier in the summer. His post-match comments after only being a substitute in the Europa League final were the final straw, however. I have the feeling, and I think it's clear, that Garnacho wants a different thing with a different leadership, and I can understand that, added Amorim. So I don't think it's a problem. Sometimes you adapt to one guy and you have the connection. Other times you want a new challenge. Chelsea believe that Garnacho, not taken on United's preseason tour of the US, can shine for them in the Premier League. Garnacho believes that too. He is desperate to move to Stamford Bridge and has already agreed personal terms over a switch to West London. Ruben Amorim has made clear he wants rid of Alejandro Garnacho, who wants to depart too. The question is whether Chelsea will meet United's £50 million price tag. That's considerably lower than the £80 million the Red Devils were asking for in January when Napoli came calling. But positions have changed. United are, clearly, no longer so keen to keep him, while Napoli instead moved on Noah Lang. Plus, United could do with bringing in some money, having spent over £200 million on their new-look attack of Brian Mbeumo, Mateus Cunha, and Benjamin Sesko. Chelsea are keen to get a deal done as soon as possible, but still want to pay less than that. United have so far insisted that's the price. Take it or leave it. Thus, Garnacho continues to train in red away from United's first team, rather than in blue as Chelsea's latest shiny new acquisition. Eddie Howe makes Isak U-turn after Liverpool interest and transfer blows. Newcastle striker Alexander Esak is pushing for a move to Liverpool, and Toon boss Eddie Howe has made a decision over his involvement in their upcoming friendlies. Newcastle boss Eddie Howe has performed a U-turn over Alexander Esak, with the striker now not expected to feature in their upcoming friendly matches, amid Liverpool's ongoing interest in signing him. Isak missed Newcastle's tour of Asia and was the subject of a huge bid from Liverpool that Newcastle ultimately rejected. However, the Reds are set to reignite their interest in Isak once Darwin Núñez's move to Al Hilal is complete. Isak is currently training away from the first-team squad, but it had been previously suggested that Howe was ready to select him for Newcastle's upcoming preseason friendlies against Espanyol and Atletico Madrid. However, Howe has decided not to pick Isak for either of those games, as first reported by the Daily Mail. It's understood Newcastle are sticking to their stance that they will only sell Isak if they have his replacement lined up. Newcastle value the 25-year-old at £150 million and have already missed out on 2 potential replacements. Hugo Ekitike ended up signing for Liverpool, while Benjamin Sesko is on the verge of joining Manchester United. When asked about Isak's future earlier this week, Howe said, "You have to earn the right to train with us. We are Newcastle United. The player has a responsibility here to be part of a team and part of a squad. You have to act in the right way." So that is also at play here. We will make sure that any player does that to earn the right to train with the group. No player can expect to act poorly and train with the group as normal. Of course, I'd like him to be there, but whether he will, I don't know at this moment in time. We have been here with the time difference, preparing for training and for games. Other people have been dealing with that situation back at home. Newcastle are now weighing up moves for a number of forwards, including Nicholas Jackson, Yoan Wissa, and Ollie Watkins. We are looking at the best players we can get. We are only looking at the best we can get. I see all situations open and available to us, Howe said. I feel that is the only way we are going to get where we want to go, which is to maximize quality over quantity. It has been a challenging summer, as you know. We have missed out on loads of different targets for different reasons. But we are still very competitive, and we are still in there trying to bring good players to the club. That won't change until the window shuts.